There's
And
no
then my
time.
son keeps teasing me. He's like, "You're just an old lady now." I'm like, "Shut up. That's not even funny."
We're not old. Now I know how the older people feel when they're like dealing with technology because
Right.
they don't have time.
Right. It's just annoying as all stuff. All right. So I'm just gonna leave this in here and we'll either edit it out or not. You guys get to hear the real Shannon and Kim talk about stuff that's going on. They're having some technical issues. And I'm hoping that what we recorded actually saved.
Oh my gosh.
And if not, we're gonna work on something and we'll fix it. Anyway,
Yes.
welcome to Cleaning Business Life. We really do know what we're talking about and what we're doing. Just sometimes technology doesn't always cooperate like it's supposed to, right?
And we're still learning. There's stuff that we're trying to improve and learn just like you guys are. And so
Right.
it's a whole process. Like if you guys only knew the back end of what Shannon and I do for
Oh
podcasts.
my God, it's a lot. When I try to explain to my husband, he goes, so, because I've mentioned, my husband thinks that I hang out on Facebook all day, twiddling my thumbs, replying to messages. And he asked the other day, and he goes, so what'd you do? I'm like, I downloaded 17 videos and then I had to upload and populate them and edit them. And he just looked at me like, and you can't do obviously 17 videos in one day. I'm not a professional editor. The maximum I could do in a day is 5. And then I'm like, oh, I've hit my max. But it's a
Brain
lot of
tiring.
up and down, moving stuff over, making sure it's the right file ending, making sure I haven't said any curse words, all of the normal, oops.
The
So
blunders. The raw Kimberly and Shannon today.
So we'll probably leave this unedited so you can really see the real Shannon and Kim. So welcome to Cleaning Business Life. And today we are talking about the mastery of organizing your business. A lot of times you will hear me reference McDonald's. No, I do not like McDonald's food. No, Shannon doesn't eat fast food. However, McDonald's is brilliant at putting systems in place that
Yes.
work, and that every position in the house, in the back of the house, is doable by another individual. So that way, if one person can't man the ship, someone else can step in
Yep.
and do it just as easily. So having some organization in your business is key, as well as having systems in place that really work, not just systems by someone who doesn't know what they're doing and they say, you should do this.
I know I see so many times in businesses that they don't train, for the whole around thing. And if it's like you said, if people were out and they don't have that coverage, then it's like stuff falls apart and things can't get done. And it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
Or you get the poor business owner who's already worked a full day doing whatever, has to step in and fix it because there isn't the delegation didn't happen, the system in place didn't happen, the
Yeah.
expectation didn't happen, and automation as best as you can, if whether you're a beginner or not. There's baby steps to take. You hear me talk about it all the time. I always give the low tech method with the idea that eventually in the future you can put some automation in your business so you don't have to manage that piece any longer. But it does take some trial and error and using systems that work.
Exactly. And so that's one of the reasons why being organized in your business is so important, because when you are the business owner, you have so much other stuff on your plate. And I know right now I'm having to go through a couple changes, and Shannon knows about these changes. And it's a lot. Like I'm being pulled from what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm having to like right now, and I still like doing this. I'm drawing pictures like as we're talking, because I've got to get this done because, I've had some stuff happen. And so getting these systems in place so you can run your business smoothly.
And at
It'll,
some point, Kim won't be able to hand do those anymore. It'll have to be either a
I know, you
photocopy
guys,
or a
sorry.
sticker.
I
I
know,
see
I was
that
like,
coming. I see that coming soon.
I know. I was like, I'm like,
Here's
this
your
takes up a
sticker.
lot. It's a lot of money to have somebody do these. And I don't mind doing them once in a while, but it gets expensive paying somebody else to do them. So yeah, I agree. Went down the
Right.
road. So enjoy your pictures now.
Right. They're one of a kind pieces like Picasso's. It's for the example, when you remember when you bought your iPhone, I don't know if you guys can see this, and iPhone actually used to give you a charger and headphones
Yes.
included in your price. This is
Mm-hmm.
an old box from looks like an iPhone 6X, and it's 512 gigabytes. So yeah, from a while ago. But I opened this up and there was a pair of headphones in here. I was like, oh, I totally remember when they gave us those. There's headphones and a charger. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. It probably came with a cord, but I clearly used it. But I was like, it doesn't, things change and evolve. So I see Kim stickers coming into evolution soon.
I actually have stickers, Shannon.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I have stickers. I have lots of stickers. Anybody that orders actually gets stickers from me.
Right.
But
You
yeah,
should.
I might have to start putting them on pages.
Right, you might have to do that, or you can give. Remember, I used to also with the Mac get the Apple stickers.
Yep.
Two per purchase. I believe that there might actually be
Is
in
there
this
still a Apple
package.
sticker?
Oh, yep. Here, let's check it out. Stickers,
I
Apple
still
sticker.
I get mine all the time when I buy when I bought my MacBook and all my phones, because you and I are both Mackies. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I always look forward to my stickers. Did I keep them and put them on things? No, but it was kind
I
of a
didn't
cool
get
gift.
stickers this time when I bought my new phone, the
I didn't get
iPhone
a sticker
16.
with my MacBook, my new one.
I was really bummed because it's like it's
My
like
iPad.
a passage.
No, it's sad. So enjoy your pictures, people.
But yes, being organization in the evolution of your business. So start small, like Kim had time in the beginning. It was very heartfelt. I've gotten some of those heartfelt thank you cards with little drawings on them. I'm sure they're floating around here somewhere. But eventually Kim's going to have to change the program and not be able to do it any longer. Even if she farms it out, it still won't be the same. And it's time consuming. So you have to, as you grow and scale, you have to kind of figure out where you're going to pivot so that you can keep on marching on.
Exactly.
Um,
So there's a lot of tools that you guys can use to implement in your business. One of the things that, obviously Shannon and I've talked about before is scheduling software, having this scheduling software, because that will take one less thing off your plate. Because the scheduling software along with the CRMs is really nice because they send notifications out to your customers. Hey, you know what? We're going to be there in 24 hours. This is a reminder of your time. Um, it also does, it sends out a receipt. So when you run their card or you collect the check payment and you put the check payment in the number, it sends them a receipt. So, and it helps free up that time. So having those things in place will free up time so that way you can work on other things and training and
right.
improving your business.
I
Another one
remember
is, huh?
I remember having to call the night before, and like when you're doing 30 or 40 homes the following day, that's 30 or 40 phone calls that you're making.
We didn't have text back then. Okay. Just so
I
you
know you
know,
had to do
we
phone
didn't have
call.
text. We had to call.
Right. Most people still had landlines back then. Back in the day, I always feel like we're referencing my parents. We
I
had
feel
to
so
wear
old.
bread bags. We wear bread bags to get to school, right? Through the snow.
Yeah, so we didn't have like, obviously when I had my clean company, we had, the text and stuff, but when Shannon was doing it, so you had to pick up the phone and call all those people and remind them. So using these systems in place, yes, it's a little pricey, but what Shannon and I always emphasize is like you're paying to free up more time to work in your business and making more money. When you free up that time, you're working on something else to bring you more money.
Right. Working on it instead of in it. And it's
Um,
exhausting after a long day. I mean, the last thing you want to do is be chatty with somebody, right?
exactly on the phone. You're like, just get it done. Another thing too is having somebody that like, the inventory, like you're managing your supplies. Having somebody do your inventory for your supplies is huge. And everybody's like, well, why? Why would I need to have somebody that needs to manage my supplies? Well, let's say you are out and you realize you only have one bottle of cleaner. I had people message me, Kimberly, I didn't order my pure in time and I should have ordered it. And I'm like down to nothing. I had to go to the store and use something else. And I was just so upset that I had to use something else. So really have somebody do your inventory of your supplies because it'll save you a lot of headaches and it keeps things flowing so you're not stressed out.
That and it also prevents shortage.
Mhm.
I think as the way our economy is right now, shortages happen everywhere. I mean, I find tags everywhere we go. It's really amazing to me. And that way you're keeping pars on what you need to have and you can standard pars. Like for anyone who's been a bartender way back in the day, we used to have to count the alcohol that was,
Mhm.
locked up. And the reason why they kept it locked up is because the shrinkage, right? Vodka alcohol is a great markup and you make a lot of money off alcohol and it's easily walked out the door, especially if someone comes in with a backpack. But you want to make sure that you are locking your supplies up. So
Yes.
we had an outside shed but prior to that, when I had my office, it was actually a locked room and there was a camera on it and you could see who was coming and going just because you would have one or two cases of stainless steel polish, which we no longer use. But they were $5 a bottle, and if you have two cases, that ends up adding up. Two cases times 24. And then you're like, well, who took the stainless steel? And everyone's like, I don't know, right? And the cleaning tech doesn't care because they're not paying for it. So, and it does keep things in line for you,
Organized.
so you can adjust what your chemical costs are going to be, and you'll know what your chemical costs are.
Know
Um,
your expenses when you do
yes.
that. To have that in place. Funny story. I have a company, a pretty big company in Colorado Springs. It's actually on the Air Force Base, a department of it, and he orders my stuff. And so he called me one day and he goes, I've got to order some more stuff. Because they hire, like they contract out to do the cleaning. And he goes, I think the ladies really love your cleaner because they stole a bunch of it.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't get orders from him anymore because I think that they liked it so much they kept stealing it and he has to lock it up. He still locks it up, but they have to have access to it to clean it. So, but yeah, lock up your stuff, have inventory so you know exactly what's going in. So even when you're doing cleaning, so if you have your cleaning bags and at the end of the day, know what's going in your bag. So you know stuff's not walking. So have your little list ready to go.
Definitely. Um, team task.
We follow a note. We follow you guys, just so you know, we follow like little notes because Shannon and I just, our brains sometimes go all over the place.
Totally. And that would be even worse than actually having some sort of focus. We're like squirrel, squirrel. Um, team tasks. So when you have tasks for your team to do, and then this is a gray area and it depends on what state you live in. So way back in the day when I was a Mary Maid, they actually made us drive to the office. We had to see if we were driving that day our car, because if you drove, you got extra money. And then you had to load in the kits, and then you had to get your paperwork. I mean, this is old school stuff. And then we would drive to the house, and then we would do the 2 or 3 houses, and then we come back and we have to offload and fill up the kits. We never got paid for the loading or the unloading of the car. So
Oh,
the cleaning of the kits became like a thing, like because no one wanted to clean the kits because they weren't getting paid for it. So make sure that if you still use that method, that old Mary Maids method, make sure that you're paying your cleaning techs to do it, or you don't have to pay your cleaning techs to do it. You can pay a high school person if your office is monitored by camera, and they can come in and do laundry if you do laundry on site, and they can clean up the kits and clean up the office and that type of stuff. Just to make sure that those tasks are getting done.
mhm.
There are other tasks, like don't get yourself in trouble. Way back when in the 80s, Taco Bell, of all places, used to have what they're called cleaning parties. And so
I
what
didn't know
happened?
this.
Yes, this was back in the day in the 80s.
Yes.
So Taco Bell, which was not paying very much money back in the 80s, I think minimum wage was probably like $4.35.
$4.25.
Yes, it was low, and the cost of living was lower, obviously, but they would make you come, and I never worked for Taco Bell. I just know this because it was in the news and I followed the story. They would make everybody come to this party that they were having, and they were forced to clean up the restaurant for free in exchange for food. Well, finally, someone got wiser and reported them, and then they realized, one person had, you know, like if you ever see The Blind Side, that the franchise owner was a
Uh-huh.
Taco Bell owner, and how many franchises did they own? It was like 134 or something. So they had like a franchise owner who had all of those locations, who was having all of these cleaning parties once a week. They got dinged for all of this back pay and to pay. Of course, the
Wow.
government wants their share of back taxes, and then it was a whole dynamic. So make sure you're not doing something that you might consider legal when it's not. Make sure you go to your Department of Labor to find out if what you're doing is legal, and ask questions. Don't do the Taco Bell cleaning party. It was just
And each
really
state is
awful.
and each state is different. So even if you come to Shannon and I, we're not going to know all 50 states
No,
legal laws. So our first advice is to please check with your state to know
Mhm.
what their laws are. Oh my gosh. Because we can't help you because we don't know, like we can help you for our state, but maybe not for Hawaii or for,
Right.
Texas or whatever. So always check with your state first.
And I always felt that the state could do a better job of giving you, like, okay, you're a brand new business owner, and at some point you're going to want employees. Please watch, and it's an email sequence. Please watch this video for week 1. Please watch
Yes.
this video. But they never want to. It's all, and then when you watch the videos, you're like, yawn. Like, videos have
It's
to be
like, can you make them
entertaining.
fun?
I
I need to get some young blood in there so they
suggested
can
it
make them
multiple
fun.
times, and it's not happened yet. So we'll see. Um, so yeah, having team tasks done, and make sure you're paying them for team tasks. That was the whole reason behind the Taco Bell story. And have a checklist. So when I had the 2 offices, we had certain standards. So like if we had people walk in randomly, they wouldn't see all of this dirt everywhere, and like it was unclean. I've walked into, and I won't name them, I've walked into a couple of other cleaning business owners here into their office because we were having a meeting. We do collaborations, and I was shocked at the condition of their office. I'm like, you have people here? It's like, this should be decleaned. Just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you're holding the standard, and that everyone is holding the standard. And based on that, I won't ever refer them, because I've been to that office recently and it still is not deep cleaned.
Having that checklist is so important. And I have the same thing. I have what's called closing duties
Mhm.
for Pure, and we have a checklist that has to be done. So like tables and computers have to be sanitized and wiped down. Floors have to be swept. All the shelves get wiped down twice a week. So like in our area, it is clean. Like you can like lick things. It's so clean.
Mhm.
But that's part of the closing duties, and those have to be done. So you have to time manage. And my staff knows like that they have to time manage before they have to leave, that this stuff has to be cleaned and done.
Right. It's like the food industry, right? We have the Golden Spoon Award. Not very many restaurants get the Golden Spoon, but there are a couple of them. And it's the most prestigious thing you could get. It's because of their cleaning standards. I mean, you could lick the floor. Literally, those are good owners. They take the time, they initiate with their employees. So make sure your cleaning techs, or you are following some sort of protocol, some system in place to make that happen.
That checklist will come in handy. And if you're atypical like me, then you love list. I'm a list person. Are you a list person? That person?
I'm guilty. I probably have like 50 notebooks. I've thought about getting one of those remarkable
I have one of
digital.
these and I've got one of those.
I have notepads for everything, but I am trying to get better of not doing like task related. I'm on the computer at the laptop. Usually you can see me typing because I'm taking notes about what we're talking about. But as far as creating new courses and stuff, that's all still hand done because the juices flow better. I get, I have the God moment when I'm in the shower and I get the great idea. I'm like,
Right, yeah, you need one of those like kid crayons, like one of the crayons they use for the bathtub, so you can like write it up there.
Or by my bed. It's great. And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, that was incredible.
Yep, get my notebook. And I do have an iPad and I do a lot of notes on my iPad, but sometimes I'm a doodler, so I have to have my everybody knows that I have markers, like I have every single marker, you know. But sometimes I just need a doodle and write down my ideas that comes to me, and I don't have my iPad with me right now.
Right. I'm not as good on the iPad. I do have the capacity, I have the pencil, I have all of the bells and whistles, and I'm still a old school pad and paper, pen and paper. And then make sure that you have tools in your beginning structure of your business. And some of the tools we just talked about was a digital calendar system.
Mhm.
There is a CRM system. So there's free ones if you're not familiar with like Survey Monkey or MailerLite. What are some of the other ones, Kim?
I don't even know because I haven't used them in so long. I don't.
There
The one I remember is Survey Monkey. That was the one I remember, but I
or
haven't used it
MailChimp.
in so long.
MailChimp is another
MailChimp, that's
one.
what it was. MailChimp.
The only problem is when you get to a certain number now that's no longer free, you have to pay for the premium service, which is fine. And just know that if you choose not to pay for the premium service, at any time, if they do an update, it's like shaking the bedspread on the bed, all of the stuff, like you could lose all your data. So
Yep.
make
Yep.
sure that you understand it's, it's like the Google reviews. You have to pay for the reviews to maintain them, or they'll just take them all down and you'll have to start from scratch. You're like,
Budget that in.
oh,
I just got a notification like when we were on our first podcast that said you reached your 10,000 emails already for the month. Now you have to pay. So I've already reached my 10,000 free emails. So now every time I send an email out for the rest of the month, I've got to pay.
right. And
I have to budget that in.
yeah, no, it sucks. It's another added expense, but people are, it's just the way the economy is going.
Run business.
So what other tools would they need to make themselves more organized?
I would say like for organization, not only in the like the CRM industry, and then just, for supplies, I really think like for me, I love organizing. So bins, labels, keep stuff really, I just like everything has a place. I always say everything has a place. And when something is out of its place, it needs to find its home. So like
Right.
really know where all your stuff goes, and it'll make everything run so much smoother.
I have a rule of putting it back. I've stopped searching for items for the other members of my household and they come running up to me all the time. I'm like, I'm not looking.
Very nice. I have a basket by my stairs. And so like if I see stuff, because sometimes my ADHD brain kind of gets like sidetracked and I've been off my meds. So I'm like, it's been really bad. So what I do is I have a basket and I put stuff in the basket. And then what I do is I carry the basket around like a little homey woman. I carry the basket around and I just put stuff away as I go. So it's like my go-to basket. But yeah, have a system put in place, you guys. It would be so much more easier for you. Things will run smoothly. You won't have people like biting each other's head off. Like, where's this? Why is this not done? Why didn't we get this in? Like, I don't, if those of you can see, I have a whiteboard and it's super organized. And I have a little thing back there that says order. And I kind of got on my staff yesterday because we got an order for some shower steamers in our new jars, and she was like, well, where's the jars for the box? Like where's the box? And I said, oh, it's over there where it should be. And she goes, no, it's not. She goes, we already used all those. And I was like, was it written on my board that we need to order more? It should have been written on my board last week and it wasn't. So having those systems in place so you know when to order stuff, like I have a whiteboard. So whatever your system is for what you need for orders, then, put that in your plan. So you don't have
Definitely.
a mishap like me struggling to try to find stuff last minute.
Yeah, that's not fun. And that basket lady would have a full-time job at my house. She
You're
probably
like,
could
Shannon's
get
like,
overtime.
I need 3 big baskets. Let's just make it a laundry basket.
Totally. But
Oh,
yeah, it's those are some of the things that you would need to keep yourself organized. Being organized yourself, if you are not an organized person, you're going to have to write things down so that you remember. My 9-year-old daughter can remember everything because her life is not as full as mine. I cannot remember a lot of things. I legitimately get, 2,000 emails every day.
You get text messages,
Text
messages.
messages. If you looked at my phone right now, and someone made a comment the other day, I have 598
Oh
messages that haven't even
gosh.
opened on my phone. And that's like once a week. That's, so you have to constantly go through. I'm going to be deleting the stuff. I'm all in purging mode right now. So I'm trying to get rid of extra, clutter, email clutter, message clutter, voicemail clutter. I'm just going through line by line, and I wrote myself a note. I'm like, okay, check. But
Make
yeah,
your
make sure
checklist.
you have
Yeah,
some
have your
sort of
checklist.
system in place that works for you. My system might not necessarily be good for Kim, and Kim's system might not necessarily be good for me, but have something and start to take baby steps, even if they're small steps. If you take little baby steps, you'll eventually get where you need to go.
Milk? No, she
Milk.
did.
Sign language for chocolate milk.
Milk. I know. She was like, the first episode, she was signing like, the milk, and she was going, and I'm like, no, no, milk, and like that. But she just did the sign, like, what would you just say? What was that? The word you were
Oh,
using? Systems.
we were, I have a 9-year-old who's learning sign language, and Kim is very proficient. So we were going over chocolate milk. That's what my 9-year-old taught me how to do. So it's pretty entertaining. You have to actually see Maya do the chocolate milk on her face, she's concentrating so hard.
Yeah, if you guys are able to watch our videos, you should watch our videos sometimes, because we have
Um,
the funniest faces, and our dogs like to join us sometimes, and chickens.
Definitely. So yeah, making sure that you have some sort of organizational process, and what will happen is you'll do something, and then the next thing you know, you're gonna have to cram it through, like having your contracts or your customer agreements be deliverable digitally is a big deal.
Mhm.
Whether you deliver it through Jobber, whether you deliver it through DocuSign, whatever, however you deliver it, or you hand deliver it, or whatever you're doing, each one of those tasks takes time. And if you're not prepared, you don't have your document ready, then you have to come up with the document. So then you have to take time to do that. And then you have to load the document in. So there's all of this learning curve. We were just on, because we were having technical issues because my Zoom is full for some reason, even though I deleted. So we were on sessions I was on sessions trying to figure out how to how to make it go on the fly. And I wasn't successful. I'm gonna have to go back and learn, right? So
And
I'm
you're
realizing
always,
it was broken.
yeah, and you're always improving your system. So maybe what you're working on now and you want to improve it, you improve it, you up your systems, you change your systems, you can change CRMs. There's always room for improvement, you guys, and be open to it. It's kind of scary sometimes to take that leap of faith into doing something new and trying something new. And I know Shannon's probably like, oh, I got to learn this new system. And I'm like, it's just, you have to jump in and take that leap of faith and just go for it. And I want to just mention on here, we got a review for our podcast, and I was super excited by that. Which gives us, I don't know if you guys understand that, it gives us a good full cup for that. So thank you for reviewing us and leaving us remarks, because sometimes we wonder if anybody's listening to us, huh, Shannon?
Right. Well, if you actually go and you pull up Cleaning Business Life, we actually have one official review on there. So, and it's nice to get the testimonials inside the groups as well. We love, love, love testimonials and reviews. 5-star reviews is what we're looking for.
5 stars would be nice.
Five stars. If you're gonna do it right. But making sure that you get them, and it does make your cup very full. I mean, we, had an impact on this person's life, and it just like, you get like
I'm just so happy and
little
just,
sniffly there.
yeah, and I love it when you guys take that leap of faith. You listen to us and you take that leap of faith and you make that jump into the next step. And we appreciate you guys doing that. So make that jump, you guys. Get organized, get your systems in place, get your checklist in place. You'll thank us, trust us.
Right. So to reiterate, some of the systems organization you'll need to have, your basic stuff. You'll need to have some sort of contract agreement process. You'll need to have a CRM process. You'll need
Mhm.
to have a digital calendar process. You'll need to figure out how to pay your taxes when they're due process. You'll need a process for your bookkeeper, a process for your accountant. Remember, bookkeepers are for books, accountants are for taxes. Then there's, your HR process. I mean, there's all of these things fit together to make this ball of cleaning.
All
And then
cleaning
there's
of
training
organizing.
structure process and certification processes and COVID certifications and then chemical knowledge and
You're always learning. Don't
yes,
forget
it's
that.
a
You're
lot
always
to
learning
learn.
something. Every day you're learning something.
So
So
those are just some of the organizational things that you will need. And like I said, I believe there's like 250 items that if you were to start from scratch and get to where we are today, there's like literally 250 items to complete that organizational task.
have fun
Anything
with
else?
that, you guys. I was like, have fun with that.
Right. 250 items. You're like, holy shit. So it's a lot. There's a lot to it. There's lots of baby steps. Once you get it and it runs smooth, you can go, I did it. I'm mop free.
And then you add one more thing.
Right. And then there's something new that comes
Always
along.
learning.
New bells and whistles with the technology. We'll see how this goes. The AI, I think, is going to really change the industry in the next year or so.
I agree. Speaking of which, I don't like that new AI messenger thing. That's frustrating. It's in my way.
Yeah, it totally is, but it does whatever there's times where I've messaged people and it won't let me message them because we're not Facebook friends. And I'm like, what? Like, how are you?
Technology.
Yeah, I'm like, that don't work, right? But yeah, being organized, picking away, and then doing it. And at some point, I'm sure I could probably do, step 1, step 2. I mean, it's all listed in the course, but I mean, the top like 10 organizational items you need.
I like that. Another podcast. We've been writing podcast ideas for the next episode. We're excited.
Beautiful. Well, if we
Well,
have
enjoy
nothing
your
else to
day.
say,
It's sunny. I'm gonna go finish getting my orders done and interview some people and then
woohoo!
get my nails done and then hopefully have some daylight left to go garden. No, my nail lady would probably be upset if I went to garden with my nails being done. Never mind.
Yeah, you should do gardening first and then go get nails done.
That's smart.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Bye, you guys. Thanks for tuning in.